The natural forces that sustain all life forms as well as non-living entities are collectively known as nature.
No one can give an exact definition to the great diversity created by nature. However, we can identify different components within that diversity. We are visiting one such distinctive location today, the first ever Mangrove Museum in the world.
The natural forces that sustain all life forms as well as non-living entities are collectively known as nature. The great poet Kalidasa once said, "The tree that generously provides sustenance, shelter, as well as pure air to support life is man's closest friend. No man could live without the help of trees." Today, however, it is not a single tree, but a whole community of plants that we will be focusing on. It is a mangrove community made up of many plant species commonly known as mangroves. We are now in the Seacology Sudisa Mangrove Museum situated at Pambala in Chilla. This museum has been designed and built to highlight the value of mangrove ecosystems. Typically, mangroves are found in intertidal zones of tropical and subtropical regions in the world where expanses of land are submerged during high tide and cleared when water recedes during low tide. Evergreen vegetation growing on these strips of land need to have adaptations so that they could withstand harsh conditions such as high salinity, high temperatures, and strong winds. The mangroves are adapted ideally to thrive in such an environment. I am now in a very important section of the Seacology Sudisa Mangrove Museum. Coral reefs are a key component in a mangrove ecosystem. You can see different types of coral reefs here. Do take some time to visit this mangrove museum where you can observe the specific features of these remarkable ecosystems. You will find the experience well worth your while. Right here, you can have yet another special experience. Behind me, you see a collection of fauna. There are species of reptiles, different fish species, as well as many other forms of aquatic life. For example, you can see a creature known as Valakkadia and another known as Velakaya. Then, what have we here? A helicopter? How come we see a helicopter here? Actually, it is a species of fish known as horned cowfish. The mangroves have many noteworthy features. There are 65 different species of mangroves in the world. Out of these, 22 species are found in Sri Lanka. Still, out of that, 17 mangrove species grow in and around the Pambala Lagoon, near which this Mangrove Museum is situated. In fact, that is the main reason for selecting this specific location to open this museum right next to the lagoon with its 17 species of mangroves. Here you can see those 22 mangrove species. Yet another mangrove species called Rathamilla has been discovered later on in Sri Lanka. However, it grows around the Madhuganga area in the Galle district. We have spoken so much about mangroves. Still, what are the benefits of mangrove ecosystems to humans? The mangroves are highly beneficial to mankind economically, socially, as well as biologically. For example, day-to-day damages to the environment make a harmful impact on the ozone layer in our atmosphere. The mangroves have a relatively high capacity than most other ecosystems to safeguard the ozone layer. Mangrove ecosystems also have the capacity to absorb larger quantities of carbon dioxide from the environment and release equivalent amounts of oxygen back to the air. Additionally, the mangroves provide a safe haven to fish and other aquatic fauna in these lagoons, especially by serving as secure breeding grounds for them. Mangrove ecosystems also perform a crucial role by acting as buffer zones that absorb the impacts of natural disasters such as floods, storms, and tsunamis. Let's go along the lagoon to see the mangroves now. The most important part of a mangrove plant is its root system. It serves some special purposes, including keeping the plant upright and absorbing nutrients. There are 4 different types of roots in a mangrove ecosystem. They are stilt roots, pneumatophores, knee roots, and plank roots. The Seacology Sudesa Sri Lanka Mangrove Museum, which has been founded in Sri Lanka, is the first ever of its kind in the world. As Sri Lankans, we can be proud of that fact. The financial support to build the Seacology Sudesa Mangrove Museum was provided by Seacology Institute in America. International Mangrove Day was commemorated on the 26th of July 2016. A variety of programs are conducted at this Mangrove Museum to spread awareness about mangroves among school children and encourage them to conserve mangrove ecosystems. Many school children have expressed their impressions of mangroves in the form of drawings like these. Sri Lanka has a mangrove density of 0.5%, which is about 15,000 hectares in extent. It was believed earlier that forests are destroyed around the world at a rate of 1 acre per second. By now, that rate has increased to about 1.5 acres per second. Food for thought indeed. Please think about how much you can contribute towards conserving this most valuable natural resource.